Loyalty. We hear a great deal about loyalty. But I've asked the question this morning, is it valuable? And is it sacred? I think loyalty can be very valuable. It demonstrates our acceptance of another person. It demonstrates our dedication. It allows us to manifest empathy, manifest acceptance, manifest caring, manifest devotion. And as we are manifesting these spiritual gifts and skills, does that not make it sacred as well? But I think sometimes loyalty might not be valuable. Sometimes I think that loyalty might just be feeding our own ego. Like, I'm loyal to the Niners, I don't care how much they win or lose. Well, you're just kind of pumping yourself up that you're a fan. But does that allow you to manifest these spiritual gifts that you have? I think there is one type of loyalty that is extremely valuable and extremely sacred, and that is our loyalty to ourselves. That's got to be the foundation, I think. When I was a young teenager, and Ananda, you might want to check these books out. I read a series of books by Ralph Moody. And it was an autobiographical story of his life broken down into books. And what a great author. I was there every minute of his life from the time he was 8 years old till he was 50 and started writing. I'm sure I was there. But the first book he wrote was called Little Britches. It's about a young kid that grew up in the Littleton, Colorado area. And he hooked up with a cowboy dude and kind of learned to be a cowboy. And his father had TB and died when he was about 12, I think. And he had some talks with his father, and one of them really stuck. His dad caught him in a little lie. And he said, you know, we all tell little lies. And like James said this morning, there's not a preacher that ain't lied. But we all tell little lies. But what that does, and his dad told this story, that inside of each of us, there is a wooden house called our character house. And when we do things that we know are wrong, or that belittle ourselves or dishonor ourselves, we tear a board off that character house and burn it in the fire to be comfortable. And if you do it long enough, you don't have any character house that will shelter you and protect you throughout your life. And boy, that stung me. And as I think about it, there is not a person in this room who has not ripped boards off their character house and burned them up to keep warm. I have always thought that, since I read that book, in fact, I've always thought my character, my own personal ethics or honor, to me that was very sacred. Whereas the rest of the world I may not have been too moral, but I always had ethics and I always had character. But even with that importance in my life, I doubt that there is a day in my life, and probably in yours, when we don't breach that self-loyalty. That we don't, I'll use the word, prostitute our values. I really need that job and I gotta go to work and I gotta pay the bills and I'll do anything. Or we get in an uncomfortable situation and we say things that aren't truth. Or we say things that dishonor ourselves, that breach that loyalty. All of us do that. We're human beings. I don't talk about the Bible very much, though I studied it diligently for years. But a few weeks ago, I did a talk about seasons. And not necessarily where it came from, but what talked about those seasons of grief and joy and hatred and love and Ecclesiastes. I call it the wisdom book. A lot of people, a lot of religions will say that the Bible or the Torah or the Quran are the words of God. I'm not sure that for me is true, but I do think that these books, these Bibles, whatever their name is, the Bible we're familiar with has 66 books in it, and some of them were collaborations. So there's 65, 70, maybe 100 people's diligent work at trying to explain the unseen. Real thinkers, contemplators that had mystical experiences, that spent a lot of time meditating and thinking and watching and studying human nature and studying the spiritual laws. And it's their work to try to explain the mysteries of the unseen. In this book, Ecclesiastes, that's where Pete Seeger got the words for turn, turn. There's a season, that the birds did. Third chapter of Ecclesiastes. Well, at the end of that chapter, there's another statement that I thought was pretty profound. One sentence of wisdom. That God created everything to be beautiful in its time. Folks, this is our time. This is our life experience. And we are beautiful. And I hope that we can maintain allegiance to that. Have loyalty to ourself. Don't degrade ourselves. I do that a lot. Each one of us has a purpose in this grand scheme of creation. And while we may not be Eric Clapton or somebody famous, or may not be running a huge corporation, our presence in this universe, in this lifetime, has significant value, or we wouldn't be here. And whatever that is, I hope we can maintain loyalty to that. I hope that we can value that. I have a very good friend. His name is Arthur Hasselhoff. He lives down in Phoenix. I call him the old Nazi. He's like a 1950s Republican. But the man taught me a lot about business. And one of the things he told me about being in business was that business, to be successful, is like a triangle. And you have to show the same loyalty and respect and give the same value to your vendors, your employees, and your customers. How have we lost our loyalty to valuing the people in our lives and the purpose they play, even as when they're a pain in the butt? They have a purpose in our lives. May every single one of us value the loyalty to our own truth, to our own purpose, our own lives. We are here for a reason. And is that not a sacred thing? Is that not something to respect? Is that not something to give our loyalty to give our allegiance to? Whatever your truth is, whatever your ethics are, they are yours. Take stock of that. Take a little inventory. Maybe you think, oh, I'm not all that great. How dare you? You are great. You are a creation of God. You are a creation of this universe. Be proud of that. Be loyal to that. Have gratitude for your existence and your life. And all of your relationships, whether they're great or not so great. They're all for a reason. Maybe you think you aren't. You need to have another look-see. You are here. You're part of this community, an integral part of this community. And there is such great loyalty and commitment and love and caring and compassion that we share. We think the world and all of each other. I hope you think the same of yourself. I truly do. Because here's the thing, you know, we've all heard it said, well, you can't love somebody else if you don't love yourself first. Well, if you show no loyalty to your own truth, to your own values, to your own ethics, how do you think that shows to the folks around you? You don't value yourself? You don't respect yourself? How do you think that shows? Do you think anybody else? Well, he thinks he's crap. Well, all right, I guess maybe he's right. I don't know. Honor yourself. Be loyal to your own truth. Be loyal to your ideals, to your ethics, to your ability to show affection and love and caring and concern. That is so sacred, and that is so valuable to having a meaningful life experience. Or you can just go out and graze with the rest of the sheep. It's up to you. Everything is created beautiful in its time. And my friends, it's our time. And let's show our loyalty, our pride, and let's show off all of the beautiful qualities that each one of us has. And so it is. How about creating a little peace on this earth? Along with love, we need the peace.